Cotton is iconic, as we all know. So everything that we do, it must reflect who we are in terms of being South African. And we lead in the front in terms of what we're doing and how we source.
So here we are 2.5 hours from Johannesburg. We're staying on a cotton farm that's grown South African cotton, and that we are now pulling through a totally South African value chain from grassroots all the way through to shelf. And we were quite criticised initially about, we're doing this from a sustainability point of view. We're actually doing this from a job creation point of view.
If you look at the South African unemployment rate at the moment, it's nearing the 28% mark. And this is the perfect opportunity, and this is the perfect environment that can help reduce that factor.
As a large corporate business, we have a profound impact on the communities in which we operate. And so where we can have such a direct impact from a responsible corporate citizen, it's a great outcome. And secondly, these days, it's becoming a bigger issue in terms of people choosing where they want to work and working for companies that make a difference, where you're having a direct impact, positive impact on the community. So it becomes important for the people who work for us as well.
Cotton at one stage was the commodity in South Africa, and I'm looking at the late 1980s. And over the years, and due to the demise and the closure of textile facilities, the cotton consumption or the cotton demand locally has dwindled. So it made business sense that if you're looking at a starting point from a demand, it should be cotton.
I spent 18 years in manufacturing. I was part of the industry when the demise happened. So it really brings joy to my heart that I could actually bring back and create that drive again in the economy to stimulate this initiative.
Edcon chose from day one that we wanted to do something that had to be South African from the actual crop itself all the way through. So every producer en route had to be in South Africa. And that's a challenge. I think that's something that I think we've done an amazing job in doing. And I think the key element there is that we wanted this crop to come through, as you've seen with the lint behind us. We move on to the gin next, which is South African, where they purify this lint, get it ready to be actually spun into a yarn. And we are using 2 spinners in South Africa, funny enough, both in KZN. And then from there it goes to knitters or weavers. So again, that's fully South African, employing South Africans in those industries. So they actually knit it into a fabric, which we've specified against the buyer's brief. And then from there it goes to another industry where they actually manufacture into garments. So you've now got it in fabric form, which is again done in South Africa. And it can even then go for dyeing, finishing, printing, whatever the finishes we want to it. And finally it ends up in Edgar's or jet shells. So that's talking to the truly South African value chain.
My name is Franz Malela, here at Matlereking. I born here on this place. On this farming, I've started from 1984, and I was doing that as a part-time job. I never educated that much, and I went to look for a job when I was still young, 16 years of age. And I went to Joburg to go look for the work. And I was lucky of getting the job as an electrician. 1999 is where I realized I must leave the job and come into farm here full time. When I wake up in the morning, my job is here on the field. I have to come here to come and check everything. If maybe snow kettles that jump through the fence to in here, if it's a planting time, and we'll have to start the tractors and prepare the soil and they get the planter. That is the job that is taking me from November until August. October we start again. This farm really changed my life very much, because I was staying in Joburg and stay in the one room with my wife and kids. We cook inside there, we sleep inside there, we wash inside there. And here I've got my house here. I'm staying in my house, and I feel okay because I've been with my kids here. When I was working, I never see 600,000. But here on the farm, at the end of the year, I can see it. I can say my life is much better.
This is a very difficult area if you look at socially. The unemployment in this area is very, very high. It's from the highest in South Africa. We are now in what we call the Sekhukhune district, where there's, I think, 4 or 5 municipalities. So if you look at the unemployment, which is just over 50%, farming is very, very important and crucial. Cotton is a tough cultivar, or it's a tough commodity. It's drought tolerant. Not that it can't take any rain. It still needs a normal rain, but at least when you compare it to other commodities, this is the way out for us, how we see it, to create more jobs. Because this area is also fantastic for cotton. This type of soil that we have here, the climate, everything is very suitable for cotton. Every 1 hectare of cotton that we plant, we're actually creating 1 job.
We know at this stage, the latest number, we've got there's 7,000 jobs already created in this part of the value chain, never mind the other parts. I think some people don't believe there is capability and capacity in South Africa to actually produce goods, so it's very easy to go offshore and actually place your business there because you can get it at a cheaper price or whatever the case is. This is an investment. You can't just walk away. You've got to say, I'm committed to this.
When I started with Loskop Cotton, there will be maybe 15 or 12 small-scale farmers. Today we are approximately 240, 245 small-scale farmers. And there's even small-scale farmers to the western side of Marble Hall, of Northwest, that is even farming with cotton under irrigation because they are next to the Willieponds River and they have the privilege to do that.
It's the initiatives like this that help develop the value chain as well. So where we have got gaps, both IDC and DTI work with us on this initiative. So when we sit together, we talk about where the gaps are in the value chain and where we need investment from government to help sort of sort out those issues. And I think that's what's also been a big spin-off in the benefit of an initiative like this.
One of the most important things is logistics. You produce cotton in this area, you take the cotton to Pietermaritzburg. Yarn is coming back 100 kilometers for us to be dyed, and then all the way back to Durban. So we're looking at those costs, and you're looking at the rand dollar, and you're looking at the exchange rate, and you look at the cost on the exchange rate. I think the fact that we and retailers sit together and say, okay, what is those so-called hidden costs, and cut those hidden costs. We got to a figure that you can save, not in all these circumstances, but you can save up to 28% just at what I call hidden costs. Now, if you don't even save 28%, you only save half of it. That means that we can make the retailer more profitable, and maybe we can just add in a little 5 cents or 10 cents on the farmer's price. When the farmer arrives at the gin, one of the negatives for farming, and that includes commercial farming, the cotton farmer was waiting very long to be paid. So he will deliver his cotton in May, June, July, but only get paid after you sold it, and that was in November. We are now able to, especially for the small-scale farmers, to pay them over the scale when they deliver their cotton. And that immediately put money back into the pocket, and it puts the small-scale farmers in a position that he can go forward and don't have to wait 6-7 months because he don't have that financial assistance from banks.
We started small with a target of committing to 600 tons in year 1. In the second year we committed to 1,600 and went quite a bit over that, I think around about 10% over that. And again this year we've committed to 2,200 tons of cotton, and we're hoping that we'll finish at around 2,500. So it's a gradual journey where we need to take it 1 year at a time, and the capacity and the industry needs to start building again.
Local sourcing helps us with our quick response programs, and it creates a lot more quicker turnaround into our supply chain. So we can now, with a model in place, can probably turn around within 2-3 months. Your long lead times are looking like between 4 to 6 months, where it comes out of China and Bangladesh.
The most important thing is we need to get the buyers to commit. The buyers from the respective chains have the order books. So we can sit and do as much work as we want, but if the buyers are not connected, and hence why we bring them to the cotton farms, and they connect with that product and they get onto this, they've been superb in this story to align.
we are a premium retailer, and it's important for us to ensure that our fabrics are of a good quality. So 80 to 90% of our merchandise is cotton, and fabric quality is important. And as we know, cotton is a natural fiber. It breathes, it absorbs moisture, it's comfortable on the skin. So it was very important for me to actually support this initiative, because it's not only supporting the farmers and the people that work there, but the customer. We are a very customer-centric company, and it's important for us to ensure that the end result is enjoyable by our customers.
A highlight for me has been, and a surprise has been, what it's done for the buying community within Edcon. They've really embraced and lit up when they've been able to come and see the impact of what they're doing so deep into the community. And so you can see that with people here today and when others have visited before. And there's a building desire now amongst that community who all now have heard about it and want to come. So we've got a group that I think is 6 or 7 times larger than it was the first time we had a group come out. And I think you'll see that continue to grow.
The biggest learning and the biggest spin-off is collaboration. So collaboration, you can't do this if, number one, you don't have your buyers hooked into this and see the benefit of it. If you don't have your suppliers engaged. So you see we've got suppliers with us today, as well as the likes of the spinners, the ginners, etc., and the fabric producers. So when we go forward, we actually all sit around a table and we talk about, okay, which knitter are you going to be using? We talk to them. It's the first time that we pull everybody together and actually map out this journey. A typical retailer doesn't work like that. We'll go to a tier 1 primary supplier who makes the goods and said, we need 20,000 t-shirts. And that's the end of that conversation. What happens up the value chain, we seldom get involved. This one, we get involved from here all the way through. So to me, that's been the biggest spin-off, is it's brought us closer together as a value chain.
I think the staff is excited. I mean, firstly, I think we've gone through some trouble patches and we're over it. We can breathe now. But they understand it's all hands on deck for the narrative to be able to change and our fortunes and the fortunes of Edcon to change. We need to do things differently. We need to be committed. We need to redouble our efforts. And we need to make sure that we are world-class in whatever that we do.
We've shared our South African story in an international platform. It was actually a textile exchange in Milan last year. And what they couldn't believe is how we are working together as an entire value chain. Apparently it's quite unheard of, is to have everybody together, coming together and engaging together.
Our customers are becoming more knowledgeable day by day. We see that customers, in the feedback, we've got an NPS, which is the survey that we send out to the customers after purchase. And we've seen that customers are aware of the fact that cotton is a natural fiber, and they've made note of the fact that, you know, Edgars offers good quality product, and they see that it's 100% cotton.
On our Jet stores, we've shifted a lot of our polycottons into cottons, and we're seeing good sell-throughs come through there. We've launched it with initiatives, and we back it with marketing campaigns where we have stickers that we insert on the product, like proudly made in South Africa. We see these initiatives starting to show some signs of growing.
We hope our efforts and work will translate into the customer seeing the difference when they shop with us. The experience that they start having with us, it will be a reflection of us winning and being competitive and getting all the hearts and minds, but also offering the quality for the commitment that we have made. So this process has to complete that journey in delighting the customer in our stores.